Hey, yo, what's going on, all my gamers, all my Wuthering Waves gamers? So, I saw this video by Ryuuku Sensei, and I haven't watched it. You know me, chat. Always procrastinating. Anyways, what does Japan think of Wuthering Waves 2.0 Renacita update? I haven't done an entire video on the whole 2.0, but I have done it on the story, so I'm wondering what Japan thinks. I don't know why. I'm actually now really interested in seeing what another region thinks. We don't really interact with a lot of the Eastern CCs, especially ones from Japan. I couldn't really name one from Japan, but I would absolutely love to hear what a lot of these, what the Japanese players think about it. It's cool. I just love talking about gacha games, chat. So this is cool for me. Let's watch it.
Japan's relationship with Wuthering Waves has been rocky since the start.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
true.
unnatural sounding localization and the absolute fiasco with Jian's weapon banner.
Oh no.
Many people have been worried that Wuthering Waves was all but dead in Japan. But this new 2.0 Renacita update put all those fears to rest.
Why does that look like a ghost? From Destiny 2, how it's just floating there. That's really funny.
Many big names have been checking out this update, including two of the biggest Genshin players on YouTube, artists.
I like how the Japanese players have, look at their thumbnails. You see all this text on it. I really like that. I don't know why. That's really funny.
From Fate Grand Order and one of the largest Twitch streamers in Japan, Kasen. So, what did they have to say? I watched through dozens of hours of live streams, checked out thousands of comments, and looked at hundreds of tweets.
I will say this. In terms of new gacha content creators, bro, Ryuuku Sensei really puts in the extra mile. He really puts it, I wouldn't be able to tell you where to even find this stuff. Like, if I were to translate, say, Spanish-speaking CCs and how they feel about it, I wouldn't even know where to look. Maybe I would just Google or just, write something like, I'm trying to think, ¿Qué piensas de Wuthering Way 2.0 or something like that? Like, I would have to look it up in Spanish and then just try to find it there, but I wouldn't know these CCs and I wouldn't know where to where to start. But Ryuuku Sensei just finds this stuff, and it's got to be a lot of hard work. So I will shout out to him.
Just before making this video, in fact, Nagi, a huge Genshin CC in Japan, put out a tweet asking for their community to let them know what they liked and didn't like about Wuthering Waves. I went through absolutely every single one of these comments and tabulated how many times I saw certain things being mentioned about what they liked and what they didn't like. And these results tend to reflect what I've been seeing in other places as well. Okay, the first thing that they liked wasn't really to do with the game itself, but rather the developers. No matter where I looked, even when people were being overall negative about Wuthering Waves, everyone
the Abby profile picture
agreed that Kuro Games clearly cares about this game, and one of the biggest pieces of evidence for that was with the speed of patches and updates that they bring out. They really like the.
I think in my opinion, I think the patches are really, really slow. I think every patch comes out after the next patch. I think 3.0 is gonna come out at the heat death of the universe. Honestly, I think it's really slow. That's just my opinion, though. I mean, it's full of content, though. That's for sure. It's long, but it's full of content. But that's just my opinion.
Kuro seems to be taking in feedback from their player base and
Yeah,
implementing the
devs
changes
listen.
that players are asking for.
Every time I've pointed something out, something that I think it would be good, an improvement, this or that. Massive with many improvements I can't fit in all my video. That's cool.
In short, devs listened and Japan
Devs
loves
listened.
it. What they didn't love, though, is that the majority of the 1.x characters seem to have been completely forgotten about in favor of new upcoming characters. Just like how many people like to solo
Gacha gaming, baby. Woo!
clear holograms with Danjin, or with the sheer popularity of Sephiroth as a character, Japan wanted at least some attention given to these characters before moving on. The next thing they loved is just how forgiving the gacha system is, particularly that there is no 50-50 on the weapon banner, and also how you can buy duplicates in the shop.
2つ分まで交換できる
Oh, I guess I never really thought about that. I just got Carlotta, by the way. Better late than ever, I guess.
っていうのを聞いてね、いやすげえなと思ったね。直接凸できるよっていうのが言ってるんでね、かなり親切設計。4凸
Maybe I should just start saving these. I honestly get these just to kind of accelerate my pity. So I always use these. Maybe I should keep them because I don't have a Carlotta. Well, at the same time, I don't really care for, how do you say it? I don't really care for copies. It's never really been my thing, so it's just kind of whatever.
が実質関東。
Japan is known for spending the most on games per capita in the world, so something like this really stands out as an absolute godsend for those who want to whale but don't want to whale too much. In fact, I actually saw one person that said that the gacha is too forgiving and that they wanted Kuro to let them whale more. I mean, if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, you can just whale on my account if you want. I won't say no. Next up for what Japan...
Wow, that's so crazy. Yo, whoever said that, I need Carlotta's weapon. Add me. I need Carlotta's weapon.
Loves is the combat. Fast, fluid, and stylish combat is what Kuro Games is known for, and Wuthering Waves doesn't...
I definitely think of all my complaints for Wuthering Waves, I've never been able to find anything to complain about with the combat. The story absolutely is not great, but man, that combat, bro. If they never put in a story into this game, I could get lost in just the world exploration and the combat for hours. That's just me though, but that's just because, you know, I think the story is fucking dog shit.
Doesn't disappoint. While
okay, it's not that
as
bad, but it's not that great.
Other IP, Punishing Grey Raven, it offers just enough complexity for people to get invested in without feeling overwhelmed. Not only that, the variety of different attack animations
These
of
VTubers
not only
look really
the characters
cool.
we control, but also the bosses and overworld mobs are also another thing that Japan really, really enjoys.
Brought me down to level 70. Oh, oh, the fallacy of no return. Oh, he got one-shotted. Oh no. When I fought Fallacy in his hologram, I actually got lucky because I wasn't in front of him. I was to the side of him. So when he did the train attack, I was like a mile off screen where he wouldn't hit me. But I was like, man, I sure shouldn't let that hit me. And then I ended up fighting him with Chisha and I did kill his ass. Oh.
What they don't enjoy though is the grind to build characters. They didn't go too much into detail.
Chat, I have Carlotta and I might have her done by... Chat, if I'm predicting when I will have my Carlotta echoes done, I think you might want to check back, and I think 2028, I might have my Carlotta done.
About what they meant by this, but from the other comments I've seen, I think they're talking about how they feel that there's not enough wave plates. The wave plate overflow cap is too low. Waiting 2 minutes for bosses to respawn is a pain.
Yeah.
And how only being able to get the rewards 3 times per week is too low. What
I mean, that's
too low,
boss
is
thing.
level of quality in the graphics and environment. Almost every comment I saw...
It's beautiful. I think Ryuuku looks really, really cool. I do like how everything... I do like the concept of everything in Ryuuku is beautiful and pristine, and the further you go out, the more desolate and, you know, broken down the world looks of Rinasita. I really like that. I really want to see the map expanded so I can kind of see how much more the map would look, if that makes sense. Like, if they're going to make it more desolate, or if they're going to have another part where it's like, oh, this place also survived. It's really, really... It's really, really cool to think about when you do think about it, chat.
Spoke about how they loved the way the game looked. Also, I didn't see anyone make any distinctions to say that they only meant Rinasita either. So I can only assume that they meant every location that we have explored so far.
Okay.
Long, Mount Firmament, Black Shores, and
I love Mount
too.
Firmament. I think Mount Firmament and Black Shores is really, really pretty. Jinzhou, I think it's just because we spent a lot of time there. It was no, I like Huanglong. I like Huanglong in I'm trying to think of I almost said Guizhou, but that's from Genshin. Whatever that city is with the Inferno Rider, that place is kind of cool. I spent a lot of time there just because I had to grind for my characters, and they have the star people there, so I just like killed the star people there all day. Whoa. That's really pretty.
すごくないですか。もうこのオープンワールドゲー好きとしては、これほどの広大なマップ、これほどの綺麗な景色を縦横無尽に飛び回れるっていうだけで、もうよだれ出ますよ、本当に。
To add a little more onto how Japan doesn't like the grind for building characters, there was also this other thing that I saw brought up very often. Echoes.
Yes, please tell me everyone agrees with me where I say that we need more Echo XP.
Whenever I saw echoes brought up, it was always a combination of, yeah, the echoes are cool, but there isn't enough experience or tuning.
Chat, I got yelled at for this. You can yell all you want, but I'm right. Like, you could call me a lot of things. You just can't call me wrong. Like, I'm not moving on this point. They need to give more Echo XP, or at least not make it cost 60 wave plates just to do it once. Like, hello? It takes 40 to do it twice on Genshin. Am I being trolled? Chat, I feel like I'm being trolled. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm getting memed on it. Let's pull one over on old Rin. Let's act like we're not totally fucking upset about having low echo XP. This will be really funny. Yeah, real funny.
This echo experience and tuner scarcity issue was one of the 3 biggest problems I saw that Japan had with Wuthering Waves. And just
I feel you, girl.
yes, I feel you. Another thing I agree with is the exploration and movement mechanics in Wuthering Waves. Even from the very beginning, Japan has loved how easy it is to get around the world, with infinite stamina to run around, wall jumping and flipping up and around obstacles, as well as the grappling hook that any character can use. The movement in Wuthering Waves has always caught Japan's interest.
いや、これがね、本当移動しててすごく楽しい要素かなと思いますね。はい。というわけでもこれ見てるだけでもかなり遊びたくなりませんか？
And now with these recent additions of the elusive sprint, gondolas, as well as flight, Wuthering Waves has taken the #1 spot for gacha game exploration in Japan.
Yeah, wow, the flight. I sure hope that isn't region locked, or if it is region locked, I hope that they don't have a double standard where, some stuff being region locked to Genshin to Natlan. I hope that's not a double standard. Am I right, chat? Surely you can fly in Chinzhou, right? Chat? Hello? Is anyone there? Is this thing on? Chat? Anyways, go on.
Japan. Okay, this next complaint I heard might take a few of you by surprise, but the second largest complaint I heard from Japan was the sheer lack of male characters. Again, in almost every comment I saw that was talking about what they want change in...
They're right. The only new character is Brant. I love Brant, by the way. I've said this so many times. I rave about Brant because I really feel like he's just such a really cool character, and I love just how much of a showman he is, and just over the top. It's just like, man... That's the kind of entertainer I want to be. That's like I lived through that, man.
Future updates, almost everyone said that they want more male characters, which makes sense if you've been paying attention. When Wuthering Waves announced the first batch of Renacita characters, Brant almost got the most attention out of anyone. Rochi got 27,000 likes, Carlotta got 33,000 likes, Phoebe got 35,000 likes, and Brant got 44,000 likes, only outpaced by Zanny with 52,000.
Yeah.
I mean, for obvious reasons, just look at it. My point is, though, that Japan is also crying out for more male characters. But on the point of characters, though, this was the top commented thing I saw that Japan liked about Wuthering Waves. They
Zanny is mommy.
Love the characters.
Oh, sorry.
Everyone always pointed out just how well the characters are designed, and not only that, they loved how
Carlotta's
the characters
cool.
looked in game too. What I mean,
I do love Rochia, by the way. Rochia was a surprising fan favorite for me. I didn't know that she was gonna be that cool. I do kind of wish that they just. I've said this before. I kind of wish they committed to having her having an accent, because the way that her voice actor speaks, it feels like she should have an accent, but she doesn't. And it kind of throws me for a loop in English, but I think she is very, very cool. I really like Rochia. And I love the way she plays. I love her kit. It's really cool. And she says Mamma Mia, and that's really funny.
That is that when characters are announced, they might look good in their drip marketing, but when it comes to actually seeing them in-game, it leaves a lot to be desired. Not with Wuthering Waves. Japan loves how the in-game models look exactly how they do in their drip marketing and cutscenes,
mother,
if not even
please.
better.
ザンニーもブラントもフィービーもさ、2D のイラストも良かったんけど 3D モデルになってなおいい。すごいね。
The variety in the idle animations, poses, and attention given to even the most minor of details has really impressed Japanese
I never
players.
would have thought of that.
The biggest problem that I saw most often brought up by Japanese players was, of course,
I guess I never would have looked at her shoe. The only thing I'm really thinking of is Kick Me Harder. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
The story. Acts 1 through 3 to be specific. Yeah, no one likes these 3 acts, whether in EN or in JP. Even when I saw comments saying how good they think the story was, there was always the caveat saying, except the beginning. And I think we all know why. But it's even worse for Japan. As I've explained many times before, the amount of jargon that is brought up in the early chapters made it difficult for many to get through in English, but it's almost impossible in Japanese because of the way that the Japanese language is. There were many words that had certain kanji that are never seen together in Japanese, so it was quite literally impossible to know how to even read the word. Okay, this is a slight side tangent that isn't really to do with Wuthering Waves specifically, but there was this tweet which went a little viral on Twitter with almost 5.2 million views. It was talking about the description of skills from a lot of the Chinese games, and this is the tweet. In the skills section of Chinese games, there are too many descriptions like, when you activate Jugamu, you get 1 stack of Goko, and when you accumulate 5 stacks of Goko, the Surikire buff is activated, and when in the Surikire state, the Kai, Jari, and Suigyo buffs rotate every 1.5 seconds. Basically, it's talking about how the detailed descriptions are making it too difficult to understand. But not only that, they're also talking about the length and convolution of the naming structure.
If it makes you feel any better, for all my Japanese players out there, if it makes you feel any better, We also don't understand it in English. And if you guys ever play Honkai Star Rail, as we call it over here, Honky Starbucks, it doesn't get any better. In fact, it only gets worse. We don't really know what a lot of these characters do. I can't lie. I didn't know what what's her name? The best support in Honky Starbucks. I didn't know what Ruan Mei did for the longest time. I think it took me about a month to figure out what she had. And that's not a month of her being out. That's a month of me owning her. Although that one might be a skill issue.
Structure. You might have recognized a few of the words in that tweet that's from an old famous Rakugo story about a boy who had a ridiculously long name. The full name is Jugama Jugama Goko no Surikiri Kaijari Suigyo Undai Matsu Furai Matsu Kuneru Tokoro Nisumi Tokoro Yaburu Koji Noboru Koji Piper Piper na Piper Shooting.
I know. Okay, I don't know where that's from. I've heard it in that. I've heard of that anime. I think it's the ending or is it the opening? I don't know, with the cute little girl singing. That's really funny.
And no, I cannot and will not say that 5 times fast. Anyway, the point is, Japan is...
I didn't even think you could do it the one time fast. I'm going to be honest. So that's good enough for me. Hey, close enough.
It's tagged with the length of these descriptions and the naming schemes in general because it just makes it needlessly difficult to understand just how to read it all in the first place.
スキル詳細が難解すぎるってところで軽く椿のスキル見てほしいんですけど、どうですかねこれ一目見て理解できる人はいるんでしょうか。私はもうお手上げです。
It took me. I had to sit down and read Camellia's abilities, and even then it took me a while. Like I couldn't figure out why she was in her bloom state. I had to like go through walls and walls of text to try to figure out what the hell. Why can't I use my my empowered E again? I couldn't figure it out, and for the most part, I almost couldn't again. I still almost can't. I kind of get it now. Like I get how to use her now, but like it was really obnoxious. And you know me, I'm not really a guide watcher. You know, I'm very anti-guide. I'd rather figure it out for myself, so it took longer.
ソシャゲなら当たり前っちゃ当たり前の光景かもしれないんですけど、名調はね特に難解かなと。その難解さに拍車をかけているのはやはり専門用語で、どのキャラもスキル、共鳴スキル、他特性に名前がついているから。
Chat, I don't know how to use Verena. That's how much I don't know. I think I kind of get it. I don't know how to build. What is it? Not Sonata stacks. I don't know what it's called. Her passive stacks. I don't know how to build them. That's why I use Baiju.
I've also mentioned this before too, that the name of Wuthering Waves in Japan was also misread for the longest time as Narushio, which is based on the Kunyomi reading. The correct reading, however, is Meicho, based on the Onyomi reading, for those that are interested. Jargon in games isn't that much of an issue. The Final Fantasy series can attest to that. But the problem is that there was a lack of consideration for the Japanese players because many of these words, places, and even names of characters, there wasn't even any furigana above the word to let the Japanese know how to read it in the first place.
Oh, for Chisha?
It might sound trivial, but it's...
I think it might have been a bad idea to kind of start off with the Chinese region. Even I struggled sometimes. The only reason why I'm used to like saying these names because, you know, I play a lot of these games and, you know, going through Liwei, going through the Xianzhou Lofu, it kind of makes it, you kind of get used to it a bit to say these names, but these are like second region places. You don't start off here. You start off in Mondstadt, or you start off in Bellabog or Herta Station. You know, places with English. You know, it's kind of a little bit easier to say.
It is a huge problem in Japan. While combat is a massive part of Wuthering Waves, the majority of players here play the game for the world, the characters, and the story. And if they can't even read the names of these things, it takes away a massive part of their enjoyment. And Japan does enjoy the story of Wuthering Waves, except Acts 1 through 3, like I said. And even more so, they especially enjoyed this Renisita update. One streamer was so moved by the climax, she actually broke down crying on stream.
That's cute. That's really cute. That's really surprising because I honestly think the story is just getting worse and worse. 2.0 is definitely a breath of fresh air, but I have never really felt more emotions. I never felt emotional in this game, right? I probably will with Encore Story, but I definitely do have like emotional moments, like with Genshin Impact, with some of the Natland scenes. You some of them are big spoilers, so I might not talk about them. But a big one is Nikkei. Nikkei definitely has me crying a lot. I always talk about this, and I bring this up because I was a blubbering mess the entire time. But the tragic story of Cinderella in Old Tales is definitely something that still sticks with me to this day, and is why I feel like it's probably the best story of 2024. Cinderella's story from Old Tales, or Red Ash, stuff like that. It definitely hits me really hard and has me crying a lot. So I can't really judge her. I definitely feel her on this. I wouldn't do it for Wuthering Waves specifically, but that's just me. It's like a goosebumps won't stop.
So despite all the problems that Wuthering Waves has had, especially in Japan, this Reinstated update has injected a new vein of life into the game, and now it's being recommended more and more. Multiple times I saw comment threads of people saying, I left because the jargon was too much. Is it worth coming back? And having many people respond, yes, come back. It's
hell
good now.
No.
And also, when I saw these streamers playing Wuthering Waves, I saw the vast majority of their chat and also in the comment section saying, thank you for covering Wuthering Waves. People have been waiting for this. And looking at Google Trends, Wuthering Waves is sitting pretty damn comfortable with 3 times the amount of attention compared to Honkai Star Rail, a game that was frequently sitting in the top 5 best strategy games in Japan. Saying that though, Zenless Zone Zero is catching up too. I really need to check out the latest update. I know a lot of the tweets and comments that were shown in this video weren't translated because it would just take far too long and the screen will get really too messy for doing that.
That's fair.
So this is a case of like, just trust me, bro. But I will be doing a stream tomorrow where I go through basically every single comment that I showed here.
Hey, I trust you. It's not like I can read Japanese.
So you can see for yourself.
I would love to be able to read
say
Japanese.
What I say they're saying, and that you can also make up your mind whether you think I've been cherry picking certain comments or not, and then you can just see for yourself. I try to be as objective in my analysis of the JP opinion as possible, but I can understand when people might think, oh, you're just cherry picking the ones to support your own personal beliefs. Well, I don't think that's the case, but I can understand why.
No, I don't
if you do want to see for yourself, make sure to follow and subscribe because I'll be doing a live stream for that tomorrow. And then afterwards, I will put the link to the live stream in the description for anyone that wants to check it out later as well. So that is the state of Wuthering Waves in Japan. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because I have more videos like this coming out in the future. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.
I definitely agree with him. Or not that I agree with him, I definitely trust him because I was trying to be cheeky on Twitter. When I'm on Twitter, I try to be a little bit cheeky, especially when it comes to the whole Genshin versus Wuthering Waves debate. I always try to take random jabs at Wuthering Waves. It's just as a joke, obviously. I don't really care. I love Wuthering Waves. I think it's a great game. It probably isn't my favorite story. I mean, it really isn't my favorite story. It's not. It is what it is, chat. I say it is what it is when it comes to the story, but in terms of the gameplay and stuff like that and world exploration, I definitely think it's up there. I definitely think it's up there. The only reason why it's not beaten out by Zenless Zone Zero is Zenless Zone Zero isn't really an open world game. So in that case, it kind of gets a pass. I think someone just started Wuthering Waves, and I was like, you know what? Tell them that after 1.1, the story is downhill from there. And someone was like, well, actually, Japan loves this story, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Hey, I feel that. I still stand by that, by the way. I definitely think it hasn't been as good as 1.1. But you know what? It is what it is. You can still find a lot to like about the story, even if you don't like the story, or like about the game, and if you don't like the story. Anyways, chat, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.